Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're diving into the iconic movie Back to the Future to uncover 10 fascinating facts that might just surprise you. From hidden Easter eggs to behind-the-scenes secrets, we're about to explore some lesser-known aspects of this timeless classic. So buckle up, grab your flux capacitor, and let's take a journey through time to discover what makes Back to the Future more intriguing than you ever thought possible. Stay tuned. But before we jump in, make sure to drop us a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell to join our retro family and never miss an adventure down memory lane. Number 10. The clock tower scene was a massive undertaking. The climax of the movie, where Marty has to drive the DeLorean at the exact moment lightning strikes the clock tower, was one of the most elaborate and expensive scenes. The set was specially constructed on the Universal Studios backlot, and the sequence required precise timing to synchronize all the elements of the stunt. The scene relied heavily on practical effects, which were more common in the 1980s than the computer-generated imagery used today. This included the use of real lightning effects, rain machines, and the physical rigging of the DeLorean. Ensuring the safety of the cast and crew while executing these effects added to the complexity. Additionally, the scene was shot at night and involved artificial rain to add drama and intensity. Filming in these wet conditions, especially with the electrical effects for the lightning and the need for consistent lighting, made the shoot extremely difficult. Number 9. We all remember the movie's theme song, The Power of Love, performed by Huey Lewis and the News. But did you know that Huey Lewis himself appears in the movie? In his cameo, Huey Lewis plays a high school teacher who is auditioning bands for the school's upcoming Battle of the Bands contest. Marty McFly, played by Michael J. Fox, and his band, the Pinheads, perform a loud rock version of The Power of Love. Lewis, in character, stops the performance, declaring it just too darn loud, a humorous moment given that Lewis himself performed the song. This scene is notable for its irony and has become a memorable moment for fans of the film and the music. The inclusion of Huey Lewis in this cameo role was a clever nod to the significant contribution his music made to the film. The Power of Love not only became a hit on the charts, but also received an Academy Award nomination for Best Original Song. The success of the soundtrack helped to cement the film's place in pop culture, and Huey Lewis's cameo is a fun Easter egg that connects the music even more directly to the film's narrative. Number 8. The sequel predicted the 2016 Chicago Cubs World Series win? Well, almost. In Back to the Future Part 2, there's a scene set in 2015 where a news ticker announces the Chicago Cubs as World Series champions. The Cubs did win the World Series, but in 2016, 1 year later than predicted. Number 7. Crispin Glover did not return for the sequels. Glover, who portrayed Marty's dad George McFly, had a falling out with the producers over salary and other issues. One of the primary reasons cited for Glover's absence from the sequels was a financial dispute. Glover has stated in interviews that he was offered significantly less money to reprise his role as George McFly compared to what other returning cast members were offered. He felt this was unfair and did not reflect the value he brought to the original film. The situation was further complicated by the filmmaker's decision to use Glover's likeness in the sequels without his consent. For Back to the Future Part 2, the production used a combination of prosthetics, old footage, and another actor, Jeffrey Weissman, to recreate George McFly's appearance. This led to legal action from Glover, who argued that the use of his likeness without his permission was not lawful. The case was settled out of court, and it led to changes in Screen Actors Guild rules regarding the use of an actor's likeness. The absence of Crispin Glover from the Back to the Future sequels remains a notable point of contention and curiosity among fans of the series. Despite his absence, the character of George McFly continued to play a role in the sequels, albeit in a more limited and altered form due to the recasting and the use of special effects. Number 6. The movie almost had a different title. Sid Sheinberg, then head of Universal Pictures, suggested changing the title to Spaceman from Pluto, based on the scene where Marty wears a radiation suit and the Peabody family thinks he's an alien. Steven Spielberg, one of the producers, tactfully ignored the suggestion, and the title thankfully remained. Number 5, Ronald Reagan was amused by the movie. As the scene unfolds, Marty tells Doc that Ronald Reagan is the president in 1985. Doc, incredulous, laughs and says, "Ronald Reagan, the actor?" He then jokingly adds, "Then who's vice president? Jerry Lewis." This exchange humorously highlights the improbability, from a 1955 perspective, of an actor like Reagan becoming president, showcasing the film's clever use of historical and cultural references to create humor and establish the time travel premise. Interestingly, Ronald Reagan himself was reportedly amused by the reference in Back to the Future. It's said that during a screening of the film at the White House, he found the line so funny that he asked the projectionist to stop the film and replay the scene. Reagan's good-natured response to the joke, along with his own transition from actor to president, encapsulates the blend of pop culture and political history that Back to the Future so effectively played with, making the film resonate with audiences across different backgrounds and generations. Number 4. John DeLorean thanked the filmmakers. After the movie's release, John DeLorean, the creator of the DeLorean car, wrote a letter to the filmmakers thanking them for using his car as the time machine, which became iconic. Since the DeLorean Motor Company was no longer in operation, and the cars were no longer being produced at the time of the film's release, there wasn't a direct increase in new DeLorean sales as a result of the movie. However, the film did have a substantial impact on the secondary market for the existing DeLoreans. The demand and value of used DeLoreans increased as the car became a collector's item, partly fueled by the nostalgia and popularity generated by its role in the Back to the Future series. The DeLorean's association with the film has kept the car in the public eye for decades, leading to a sustained interest among collectors and enthusiasts. Over the years, there have been various efforts and announcements about reviving the DeLorean brand and producing new cars, some of which are directly inspired by the Back to the Future series, indicating the lasting impact of the film on the DeLorean's legacy. Number 3. The film was rejected by several studios. Before Universal Pictures accepted it, Back to the Future was rejected by at least 4 major studios. Some rejected it for being too tame compared to other teen comedies of the era, like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Some studios, like Disney, were concerned about certain elements of the script, particularly the subplot involving Marty McFly's mother developing a romantic attraction to him when he travels back in time. This was seen as potentially controversial and made some studio executives uncomfortable. Adding to the uncertainty, Back to the Future was a mix of science fiction, comedy, and family drama, which made it difficult for some studio executives to categorize and market. At the time, this blend of genres was less common, and studios often preferred projects with a clearer genre identity. The project finally found a champion in Steven Spielberg, who had worked with Zemeckis before and believed in his talent. Spielberg's support was instrumental in getting the film set up at Universal Pictures. Despite the initial rejections and concerns, Back to the Future went on to become a massive hit, spawning 2 sequels and leaving a lasting impact on popular culture. Number 2. The DeLorean wasn't the first choice for the time machine. The initial concept for the time machine was a refrigerator. This idea was scrapped partly because of concerns that children might start locking themselves in refrigerators, trying to emulate the film. During the 1980s, there were public safety campaigns addressing the dangers of children getting trapped inside old refrigerators, which likely influenced this decision. Steven Spielberg, who was a producer on the film, suggested using a car instead of a refrigerator. This idea aligned well with the need for a more practical and engaging time machine. The DeLorean DMC-12 was chosen for its distinctive, futuristic look, which fit the film's innovative theme. Its gull-wing doors and stainless steel body gave it a unique appearance that seemed fitting for a time machine. The car itself was somewhat of an oddity in the automotive world, much like the film's eccentric inventor, Doc Brown, making it a perfect match for the character and the story. Number 1. Eric Stoltz was the original Marty McFly. After several weeks of filming with Stoltz, the filmmakers felt that while Stoltz was a gifted actor, He wasn't bringing the comedic energy and lightheartedness that the character of Marty McFly required. The film's director, Robert Zemeckis, and producer, Steven Spielberg, came to the difficult conclusion that the casting wasn't working as they had hoped. With the decision made to recast the role, the filmmakers once again approached Michael J. Fox, who was still their first choice for Marty McFly. This time, arrangements were made to accommodate Fox's schedule with family ties, allowing him to work on both the film and the TV show simultaneously. Fox would film Family Ties during the day and Back to the Future at night and on weekends. Michael J. Fox's casting as Marty McFly proved to be a pivotal decision. His charismatic performance and natural comedic timing brought the character to life in a way that resonated with audiences and helped make Back to the Future a critical and commercial success. The film became an iconic pop culture phenomenon, and Fox's portrayal of Marty McFly is widely regarded as one of the most memorable characters in cinema history. Well, there you have it. 10 fascinating facts that you may not have known about Back to the Future. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, like and subscribe for more journeys down the retro rabbit hole. See you in the next video.